Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate it. Really quick update today on workout partners. And are they necessary? And do you need to have a workout partner? I get asked this question quite a bit, and I've actually been asked to work out together with various people because they may see a workout that I'm doing and they'll ask, well, what time do you work out? Let's work out together. So way back in the day, I used to work out with my older brother. We used to do workouts together. He was a lot stronger than I was, especially with his squats and his bench and everything. So it made sense for me to work out with him because he was so much stronger than I was. And he was just a little bit better than I was at lifting, and he knew a lot more than I knew about lifting and the nutritional side of everything. So that was a good partner because he was ahead of me and he was better than I was at the lifting. So that's the number one tip I'll tell you about selecting a partner is it's okay to work out with a friend. It's okay to work out with one of your buddies. But you need to find somebody that is on a different level than you are, stronger than you are, maybe has more endurance, and just knows more about lifting, because that way it's a learning type of thing. If you're working out with someone who's on the same level that you're on, you're only going to get so far. You're the total sum of the 5 people that you're around the most. So you need to find somebody who you can work out with, but at the same time you can learn a little something from. And and that's pretty much what I would say to you in terms of having a partner in the gym is have somebody who is more of a mentor instead of a partner, a workout partner or a workout buddy or whatever you call it. Have more of a mentor to help guide you through your workouts and someone who's willing to guide you along and help you get better at your workouts and better at your lifts and better at your nutrition, and someone that you can actually learn things from. So that way you're not constantly in a position to where you're with someone who's not making progress themselves, or you're with someone who doesn't have the same amount of motivation as you do. So that's leads me into tip number 2 about the workout partners is finding someone who has that same level of motivation. I've had workout partners in the past who there was always something that came up. Their tire went out on their car. They had to get their hair done, whatever it was. They didn't show up to the gym all the time when they were supposed to. So that's another thing, is finding someone who has that same level of motivation and passion for fitness as you do, because you're going to want someone who's going to actually show up, be there to work out, get there on time, and really push you, and you can push them to a level to where both of you guys are going to get the gains that you want or help reach the goals that you want. And that leads me into number 3, having someone who has similar goals. So in other words, let's say that you want to gain a lot of mass and you want to bulk up. You really want to try and work out with someone who has that same goal. So if you're a weightlifter and you're trying to bulk up and your workout partner is a marathon runner who's just a recreational lifter, that's not really a good lifting partner. That's not a good lifting partner. You guys can go have coffee together, have tea together, have a beer together or whatever it is, or hang out, but that's not really a good gym partner because his goal is different from your goal. So you want someone who has similar goals to you. Again, if you're bulking, cutting, whatever it is, find someone who's in that same realm. So that way you guys can motivate each other and bounce ideas off of each other and so on. And, especially if you're a power lifter or bodybuilder or something and you're benching a lot of weight and you need a spot, you want someone who knows the etiquette and knows the background of those lifts and has experience with those type of lifts. So that's the main thing with having a partner. I currently do not work out with a partner. I'm a little bit more of a lone wolf. I love to work out alone. And I've learned to manage without spots. I've learned to manage without spots because I don't really lift to failure anymore. I don't really lift to failure that much, and I really didn't do a whole lot of it in the past. Remember the great Bill Pearl once said about lifting to failure, if you lift to failure, you fail every time you go to the gym. So I've always liked that saying that he said, and so I don't lift to failure. So I don't really need a spot in terms of the weights that I'm lifting. My philosophy and theory on that is, if you can't lift it, then you shouldn't be lifting it. Somebody has to have their hands under you while you're doing a shoulder press, and they're pretty much doing curls as they're bringing your dumbbells up. The dumbbells are too heavy. And if you're benching and somebody's doing a row while they're pulling the bar off your chest, it's too heavy. Why not just pick a weight that you can do and program correctly so you can work up to heavier weights on a consistent basis? But if you have to have somebody hugging you from behind when you're squatting, it's too heavy. It's too heavy. So unless you're a world-class power lifter and you're competing and you're training on that level, that's a different story. That's a different story, but there's not many people like that in an average everyday gym. Those people are working out in a powerlifting gym, and they have spotters, and they need spotters because they're doing things like negatives and force reps and working out with chains and bands and things like that. So there definitely become safety issues with that kind of lifting. But if you're a recreational lifter, and it's okay to admit that you're a recreational lifter, that's fine. We're all not going to be professional lifters. But if you're a recreational lifter, for the most part, you don't really need to lift in that way. So if you're unracking a bar for a shoulder press, a chest press, especially an overhead lift, and you know you need a spotter or a handoff, you should really think twice about doing that lift, because I'll be honest with you, there are a lot of people who don't know how to spot. Most people don't know how to spot. So you could have somebody standing over you to spot you that doesn't really know what they're doing. And I've seen that happen before. I've seen it happen every year. There's somebody who's being spotted on the bench and the barbell still falls on their neck, and there's somebody standing right behind them. So make sure that you use safety pins for these lifts. Throw the safety pins underneath the barbell just before it stops, before it would hit your neck, and use safety pins in the power rack to bench, to squat, even for shoulder presses. You can put them right below where you drop it and just let it go. It'll go onto the safety pins. That's what they're there for. But in terms of benching and doing heavy overhead lifts with a spotter, again, the weight's probably too heavy. If you need someone to lift 20% of it or 30% of it, it's probably too heavy. Not in all cases. Not in all cases. There are cases where if you know what you're doing and you want that spot, someone there to help you with force reps, negatives, things like that, that's a different ball game. But I'm talking about, I see people doing overhead presses with 40 pounds, and they'll have somebody standing behind them lifting 40% of the weight up. So that just means the weight's a little too heavy. So find someone who can show up, someone who maybe isn't necessarily a friend, but someone who is a good lifter and someone who is above where you're at, someone who has the same motivation you have, and someone who has the same goals that you have in the gym, because that will help you get to where you want to get to faster, quicker, safer. Hope this has been informative. Have a nice day.